December 14th, 2023, regular meeting of the Board of Education is called to order. Roll call, please.
Member Karina Plancarte.
Here.
Member Catherine Jones.
Here.
Member Fong Nguyen.
Here.
Member Aiden Hill.
Here.
Member Nancy Thomas.
Here. Has anyone come forward to speak to public comment on closed session items? Seeing none, we will be recessing to closed session where we will be discussing public employee discipline dismissal release complaint, conference with labor negotiators, NTA and CSEA, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, one case, student expulsion, and two student expulsion cases. So we're adjourning to closed session. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, we have just returned from closed session for the December 4th, 2023 regular meeting of the Board of Education. No action was taken in closed session. Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to our meeting. Next, I would ask if there is anyone that on the board that would like to pull any item from the agenda or change the agenda in any way. If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Member Hill moves to approve the agenda. Member Jones seconds. Please vote.
Are we waiting for someone to vote? Has everybody voted?
5 aye.
5 ayes. Thank you. Next, Ms. Barrios, would you please discuss the process as we move in to accept public comments?
Yes, I can. Good evening. I would like to provide a brief overview of tonight's meeting. As usual, the board will hear 30 minutes of public comment. If you wish to address the board, please fill out your speaker card, which can be located in the back of the room. The board president will determine tonight's speaking time at 3 minutes per speaker. Speaker cards will be organized by agenda item. Therefore, please prepare your comment accordingly. On an individual basis, the board president also has the discretion to allow for extra time to those who need translation or have other speech needs. Please note that if there are a lot of cards, not everyone who turned in a card will get to speak. When you are speaking, the light at the lectern will turn yellow when there is 1 minute left. If you are still speaking when your time is up, you are allowed to finish your sentence, but please try not to speak beyond your time. We understand that there are really important issues that many people feel very passionate about. However, in order to be fair to all speakers and so we can hear as many speakers as possible, we ask to please be mindful of your time. Our goal is to hear from as many speakers as possible. I also want to remind that we have children listening or watching at home, so please keep that in mind as you speak. Lastly, if you have complaints about the specific district employees, we encourage you to take advantage of our formal complaint process rather than using public comment for that purpose. Thank you. Voy a proporcionarles un breve resumen sobre esta junta. Después de unos procedimientos preliminares, un periodo de 30 minutos será dedicado a comentarios públicos. Si desea participar en el periodo de comentarios públicos, favor de completar una solicitud para dirigirse a la mesa directiva. Puede localizar su solicitud en la mesa de atrás. También tiene la opción de enviar su comentario con anticipación. Envía un correo electrónico a publiccomment@newarkunified.org. La presidenta otorgará 3 minutos por orador y también reservará la discreción de otorgar minutos adicionales a quienes requieren traducción o cualquier otra adaptación especial. Durante su comentario se dará cuenta que la luz en el atril se volverá amarilla cuando falte solo 1 minuto. Entendemos que hay cuestiones importantes que a muchas personas les apasiona mucho. Sin embargo, para ser juntos con todos los oradores y poder escuchar a tantos oradores como sea posible, tenga en cuenta su tiempo. La meta es poder escuchar el mayor número posible de comentarios durante los 30 minutos designados a este periodo durante sus comentarios. Por favor, tome en cuenta que hay menores escuchando en persona y en casa. Y por último, si tienen quejas sobre personal del distrito, le pedimos que utilice el proceso formal para procedimientos de reclamación. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Nancy, may I add something?
Yes,
Oh, also, I want to make sure everybody knows that our translator Yvette is on Zoom in case anybody wants translation, and she has been for the entire year. We confirmed it with her. She's been on there on Zoom every meeting for the entire year. Just wanted to confirm and make sure everybody knows that we are abiding by what we say. We do provide translation. Thank you.
thank you. So next, we move on to comments on non-agenda items. We have one speaker, Ms. Ivy Maldonado.
Good evening, members of the board, parents, and community members. I am Ivy Maldonado, a parent of Schilling Elementary. Tonight, I speak to you as a concerned parent and as someone who's committed to the educational and overall well-being of our children. Our dedicated teachers, the pillars of our education system, are currently facing overwhelming stress and burnout. During my recent volunteer experience in my child's classroom, I witnessed this firsthand. The scarcity of support and resources in our classrooms has escalated into a crisis that urgently requires our attention and action. These educators are entrusted with the crucial task of molding our children's minds and futures. Yet they're expected to do so with scarce resources. The situation is not only unfair, but also unsustainable. How can we expect our teachers to foster a passion for learning in our students when they themselves are constantly struggling with shortages and limitations? The consequences of this issue are far-reaching. Our students are missing out on a rich and stimulating learning environment, which is crucial for developing curiosity, critical thinking, and a lifelong love for learning. When our teachers are hindered, the quality of our children's education inevitably declines. Therefore, I implore the board to act swiftly and decisively. My advocacy centers around two key areas today: enhanced budget for classroom resources. I was taken back by the public comment mentioned last board meeting around how we're choosing to spend our budget. We really need to reprioritize and ensure that each classroom is fully equipped and with essential learning materials and modern technology. Secondly, increased teacher support. The teacher-to-student ratio I observed was 27-1. I know a lot of parents take time where they can to help volunteer in the classrooms, but that's here and there. Our classrooms desperately need additional staff. Hiring teacher aides can make a significant difference, ensuring that each child receives the attention and guidance they deserve. In essence, investing in our teachers equates to investing in the future of our children. It represents a commitment to fostering a brighter, more knowledgeable, and empathetic society. The influence of a well-supported teacher on transforming lives is immeasurable. Let's unite to bring about the changes that will allow our school to not just meet, but surpass the educational needs of our students. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Maldonado. The board appreciates public comments. We appreciate your concern, and we can't speak specifically to what you have spoken to us about, but we've heard you. Thank you very much. Next, we move on to a non-agenda item from Lucia Gutierrez, please.
Tonight, I came to remind you all that you guys are public officials, that you guys represent the community, and that you represent the students and their well-being. I came to remind you that we are a small town. You guys are elected officials, and when the community wants to speak to you, it is respectful that you guys make yourself available to the community. I think this is small Newark, and I think that you guys being elected to represent the community is at least you can do is to make yourselves available to the community and those who voted for you. Additionally, this is actually very interesting here. Last time I was in this board room and we had a police officer is because we had a threat of possible shooting from an expert sniper. So I would, President Thomas, in this situation, like to hear from you respectfully as to why a police officer is here, because it seems that if a police officer is here because of fear from the Schilling community, it feels like it's profiling a little bit. It feels like somebody said, hey, those people from Schilling are coming and we're expecting a ruckus, so maybe we should bring a police officer. That's what it seems like right now, and I want to infer that that's not the case. So I would like for you to step a little bit out of your rules and maybe explain to the community why a police officer is here, because right now it is feeling very threatening if it is for the reason of having the Schilling community here. Oh, actually, because I still have time, I do apologize for the interruption, but because I do still have time, sí les quiero decir a la comunidad de Newark que lo que yo acabo de decir es de que las personas que están aquí son nuestros representantes. Nosotros como ciudadanos y residentes de Newark los votamos para que ellos nos representen a nosotros. Entonces, la comunidad de Newark, especialmente la comunidad hispanohablante, por favor, no tengan miedo a venir y hablar aquí porque ellos nos representan. Ellos tienen que escucharnos y ellos tienen que valorar lo que nosotros estamos haciendo. Otra cosa que se me hizo muy interesante es el hecho de que tenemos un policía aquí esta noche. Entonces, yo le pregunté a la señorita, la presidenta Tomás, el por qué está este policía aquí, por qué hoy en la noche donde van a venir muchos de los familiares y papás de la escuela Schilling. Sí se siente un poquito discriminatorio por el hecho de que simplemente porque van a venir los papás de Newark que están haciendo esto. Entonces sí le pido por favor a la presidenta que nos dé una explicación. Thank you.
Thank you, and I will step outside of my role of not answering to say that having the Schilling parents here, that has nothing to do, the police officer being here has nothing to do with the Schilling parents being here. We are grateful that the parents are here. We appreciate the parents. We appreciate everything that you have to tell us. Thank you. Next, we move on to public comment on agenda items. Parents, the public can choose to speak now or speak when the agenda item comes up. Ms. Parks, would you like to speak to this item now? Her item is 7.1, 7.2.
Actually, it's for 13.2 for the warrant report. There were several items on the warrant report that pertain to repaving and such, things that would be considered maybe a deferred maintenance type of an item. And Fund 40 and Fund 25 were utilized for those repairs, and it just seemed like they were more deferred maintenance or routine maintenance, and perhaps another fund should be considered for those types of projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we move on to our annual organizational meeting of the board, where we discuss several things, like the election of officers, the appointment of the superintendent as secretary to the board, the adoption of board policies, setting regular meeting times, and so forth. I just have to say this is my last meeting because we have a tenure of 1 year as a board president, so it's my last meeting as a board president. I've enjoyed all year of it, and I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten from my fellow board members, from staff, from the community. But before we get into the first item on the annual organization of the board, which is election of the president, we do have several members of the public that would like to speak to this item. So would Christina Mendoza please come forward to speak?
Good evening, board members. I'm a Newark resident, I'm a voter, and I'm also a parent of a student here. And I'm here tonight to tell you that I would like for you to consider Ms. Nguyen as the board president. And I'll say that she's someone that is always there for the students of Newark. I have seen it myself. I have seen her at events at different schools, and I know that she's going to do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Carrillo?
Good evening, members of the board. In my past few board meetings, I've witnessed Member Nguyen's passion and dedication to NUSD, and as the only member that is an alum that's on the board, I can see where her passion comes from. I know she's a loved member of this community and loved by NUSD staff. There is no one else I would love to see lead this board. Please vote for her as our president. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carrillo. Paula Gomez?
Good evening, board members. I wish to nominate Board Member Nguyen as our next board president. Our past board meetings have shown that our school district is in need of a change, a positive change. I believe Ms. Nguyen is that change.
Thank you. And finally, on this subject, Mr. Jeff Anderson?
Good evening, NUSD board members, admin, parents, and staff. I think the camera's over there. What's up, y'all? Today I come to speak about the board president's position. On my end, I am really hoping that the next board president member will be honest, transparent, and one who promotes equity and equality throughout our district. We're looking forward to engaging with this board about how we can strengthen both NUSD through the work that we do at Schilling, something that's very important. I appreciate Dr. De Leon's effort to come visit our meeting tomorrow evening. Thank you for that effort. Tomorrow morning, I will be sending Dr. De Leon and the entire board a 5-page document that represents 3 years of dialogue, engagement, and observation at Schilling, including work on the DLI committee. I will be asking for a response from the board and Dr. De Leon. I don't think you're going to have a response by tomorrow night, and we can talk through that, right? But it's an invitation. The reason that I'm bringing this up, though, is that some of those difficulties and challenges are going to require multiple agenda items in the future. And those agenda items are directly relevant to the challenges that we face at Schilling and to strengthen our community. And I want to say that I've observed Board Member Nguyen being very vocal about DLI, the TOSAs, the staff that we have, and really supporting the type of struggle that we're working on, which is to strengthen our school as part of a unified district. This is something that we're very, very passionate about. I also want to say I really appreciate the effort that you made to come to our school, to reach out, to listen to us. And I am hoping that we will see you as the next board president and that we can use that as a mechanism to strengthen not only Schilling, but every school in our district. This is not about division, it is about unity. We are stronger together. I cannot wait to use this space and Newark not only to strengthen this district, I want to push upward to the state of California. We are the 4th richest economy in the world. We have enough money to fund our districts. There are things that we need to do here, but I also want to see us unite together to push upward. Aisha Wahab, Alex Lee, at the state level, so that we can get a larger slice of the pie here to address our needs. I'm hoping that you'll be part of that as the president of the next board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we move on then to discuss and elect our officers, the first being the president. Is there any board member that would like to make a comment? If not, I would like to nominate Aiden Hill as our next president. May I have a second?
I'll make a second for that.
Okay, Member Thomas makes the motion, Member Jones makes a second. Please vote. Member Thomas.
Member
Member
Jones.
Jones.
board policy. My question has to do with, are we asking for, should we have asked for any other nominations, or are we using our board policy, which is that it's on a rotation?
I did not ask for any other nomination.
So I think there's clarification because in our current governance handbook, we do have a structure because we changed it with the last board to make a nomination to be elected. But I think there was discussion amongst the board that you wanted to change it in the handbook to go back to a rotation. So and based on your nomination of Member Hill, it looks like you would like there to go back to what was prior in the governance handbook from prior boards, and not the previous board, to continue the rotation. So every year, everyone gets an opportunity to be president, be vice president. So is that correct?
I think what's correct is that we need to update our board policy for the officers election, and that board policy, I think, should come to us, and that we should use that board policy as the way to say how we are going to do it going forward.
It's currently in the governance handbook.
But the governance handbook doesn't supersede the board policy.
So I understand that, but I'm saying we need to be consistent.
Okay, and
Yes.
just a minute. The motion has been made and seconded, and I think that we need to move forward on the motion unless someone wants to call a question about the motion and make an alternate motion. I think at this point, that's the way we should go forward.
No, I agree. There
Okay.
is a motion on the table.
So please vote.
Have 5 members, A,
5 ayes?
5 ayes.
5 ayes, unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Hill.
Congratulations.
And with that, I am happy to hand over to you the gavel. So the meeting is now yours. Yes, Member Nguyen?
I would like to make a comment. Congratulations, Member Hill. And I know that Member Hill will do a great job. And I do believe that, personally, I think that the right thing to do is to have a rotation of the presidency like we had in the past. And I know that in our prior board, we wanted to have a democracy system, and so we changed it. So that is privy to the board president, and I just want the community to understand that. And I also wanted to personally say thank you to all of you who came out tonight and supported, showed me great support, and I really appreciate that because the work here is actually very, very difficult at times, and it can be seemingly antagonistic, but honestly, I don't have any personal issues with any of the board members. I try personally to work with everyone, and sometimes we don't always agree, but it's okay. We're individuals. We have our own opinions, and I hope that other board members aren't afraid to, vocalize their own opinions when they feel indifferent or unsure of going against the majority. And I'm here to tell you that it's okay to do that. If you're uncertain about a decision and you need additional time, voice that. Make your concerns known and stand by that decision. And, and then things will work out eventually anyways. But I just wanted to again say thank you to the parents and the community who is supportive of the work that we do up here together. And especially thank you for recognizing all the hard work and dedication that I do have personally invested in the students here, because my kids are here along with you, along with your kids. And I am an alumni in the district, and I care deeply about what happens to the district moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Nguyen. Thank you, Board Member Lee. Thank you.
Sorry. First of all, I just want to apologize. I didn't realize, I just came back from science camp last week and I didn't realize we had a board meeting today that it got moved. I thought it was next Tuesday. I just came back from the Shilling Lion King, the concert. The kids were really good. Oh, there were a lot of parents who were there, a lot of community support, which was amazing to see. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is very unprofessional. I want to
Welcome,
apologize
memories.
to everybody.
We're glad you're here.
sweetie.
And then, so what just happened?
Member Hill just got voted in as the new president.
Oh, congratulations. But nothing against you, Member Hill, but then the community was just supporting Member Nguyen, no? Sorry, no, and I feel like, I just wanted to voice like my own personal opinion. Is there no way to bring it? No, okay, so then congratulations, I really want to congratulate you from the bottom of my heart. But, me too, I really hope that going forward, that we'll be able to vocalize, that we'll be able to be more transparent going into the future, and that we'll be able to be more clear to our community, because I know our community always feels like they're being left in the dark. There isn't a lot of communication going in between the parents and the teachers and the board. And, you know, when there's not a lot of communication, there often gets like even like a simple email of being like, oh, like, thank you, or like, sorry for not being there. Those small emails add up to a lot, and it can really grow our community or it can tear it down if we don't do anything. And so I just really hope that going forward, like, we will have more transparency, and that we will listen to our community more. And also, what else was I gonna say? And I also really want to still very congratulate you. And it's so sorry to see you know, becoming president, because I think just like objectively, just like seeing from our board, like she has came to the most events, to the schools. And I just wanted to shout out. Yes. And I hope to see you at our future events. I hope to see you. We have a concert band coming up this winter. I hope to see you there.
It's tomorrow night.
It's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. They have reserved seats for us. Yes. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you, President Thomas, for your nomination and for your support, and thank you, Member Wen, for your support, and thank you to the board. And also, I'd like to thank the public for coming, and I want the public to know that they're always welcome to come. Everybody is always welcome to come, and they're always welcome to express their opinion during our public comment period, because we're a democracy. And it doesn't matter what your viewpoints are, it's your right to come and express them. And so just want to support that. But again, thank you. I will try to do my best as president this coming year. And, but I also appreciate the patience of the board as well as the public. And whenever you start to do something new, you're not always smooth as our current president. And so, I'll help you. I would appreciate you helping me work on the rough spots. So with that, I'd like to move on to agenda item 8.2, election of officers. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to make one more comment, and this is the comments that were happening earlier about our process. So as Member Wen had talked about and Member Thomas had talked about, historically, the board positions have been based on a rotation. A couple of years ago, that was changed to be an election, so we're currently under the election rules. And so we did need to make a nomination, and we will need to make a nomination for these other positions as well. But I would definitely like to work with the board going forward to have a discussion around whether we'd like to keep it that way or whether we'd like to go back to the old way, and I think that we should have a discussion about that.
I would agree.
Okay, great. So with that, if we can move on to agenda item 8.2, election of officers, clerk, vice president. So are there any comments or suggestions regarding who would be good to fill that role? So any comments from the board?
I just have a comment. So I understand that we're electing president by rotation, and that's been my understanding all along, that it's fair that way. Would we also proceed as well with the clerk and vice president? Would that also be
Yes,
rotation?
it also applies to the vice president position. So any other questions or comments, suggestions? Okay, so if we could get a nomination for vice president?
I'd like to nominate Member Jones for vice president.
I second. I'm sorry. So Member Thomas. Member Thomas has motioned to appoint Member Jones as vice president, and newly elected President Hill seconds the motion. Please vote.
Member Lee, what is your preferential vote?
And Member Lee, would you like to express your preferential vote here?
I'm sorry, no. No.
Okay, thank you. So, great. And everyone else, please vote via board docs.
Five aye, and student member Lee nay.
Great, thank you. Moving on to agenda item 8.3, appointment of superintendent as secretary of the governing board. Are there any questions regarding this agenda item? Okay, can I get a motion to appoint the superintendent as secretary of the governing board?
I'll make a motion to appoint the superintendent as as secretary of the governing board.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, student member, would you like to provide your preferential vote here? So on item 8.3.
Am I allowed to abstain? Yeah, you can abstain. Yeah, can I, I'm not sure what it is yet, so can I abstain? Yeah.
Five ayes, and student member Lee abstained.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 8.4, adoption of board policy manual. Are there any comments from the board regarding this agenda item? Member Wen?
Thank you. So I'm okay with approving it, but there are two sections in there, and I wanted to be consistent with our board policy in regards to rotational positions of the board. And then the second one has to do with public comment and our translation. In the current public comment right now, it just states, the 3 minutes, but I would like to add in there an additional 3 minutes for translation for our speakers.
And that, are you saying our current board, I'm sorry, can I?
Oh, sorry,
No,
I'm on the
that's it.
wrong one. I apologize.
So we're talking about 8.4, adoption of board policy manual.
Oh, yeah, I apologize. I was on the, I was one ahead. I was on the
Okay.
I was on the governance team handbook, sorry.
Okay.
So I don't have any comments on here. I apologize to the public. I'm on the wrong agenda item.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions or comments regarding 8.4, adoption of board policy manual? Okay, student member, how do you vote?
Yay!
Okay. All right. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you skipped the second.
Did I skip the motion?
Yes.
I'm sorry. So can I get a motion for 8.4 adoption of board policy manual?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, so Member Wen moved to approve and Member Jones seconded. So student member, how do you vote?
Yay!
Perfect. That's really the only reason we did that, is so we could hear it a second time. Okay, for the rest of the board, can you please vote?
I'm so touched you guys take my yay so happily.
Of course.
6 ayes.
Great. Motion carries. 8.5, adoption of the governance team handbook. Member Wen?
Yes, so this is what I was ranting on earlier on the previous agenda item. I would really like it if we could go to, make the changes to, in terms of the election, back to rotation, so that we're consistent with our board policies. And then also in regards to meeting, in regards to public comment, we noted that the public gets 3 minutes to make their comments, but I would like if there's a public member that's speaking and would like to translate their own, we would allow them an additional 3 minutes. So, just for
Okay, so-
transparency's sake.
Yeah, so other comments? Member Thomas?
My suggestion would be that the place to adjust the board governance team handbook would be in a special meeting or another meeting where we agendize. And so I would table this item and put it on a future agenda for those adjustments.
I'm okay with that. Since it is a living document and we can always make changes to it, but I just wanted to note that in public. Thank you.
Other comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to support what she said.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
I just wanted to note that on the very last page, on 16, the very last bullet, it only refers to the mail, trustees to copy him on emails or communications which relate to district matters, and I would like to just ensure that we also include /her as well.
Okay, thank you, Member Plancarte. Any other comments? Okay, and then along the lines of what Member Wen and Member Thomas have been speaking about, so we have a current governance team handbook. The last time that we actually, I think, thoroughly went through it was a couple of years ago. So it's probably due for another revisiting, and we probably need to have a special session to take a look at it. And so I commit to work with the board to figure out a time during this coming year where we have those discussions and we address those requested changes. Go ahead.
Could I also be invited to the meeting, like included in it?
I believe so. I mean, I think we'd have
It's
to.
a study session. She's included.
Yeah, so, sure,
Okay, thank you.
great. Okay, so per,
Oh, sorry. I would just request that we would do that sooner rather than later. Thank you.
okay, noted. So I think we have to do a motion. So do we have to do a motion to table it? We don't? Okay, so we're tabling 8.5, adoption of governance team handbook, and we will come and revisit it at a future date in the near future. Okay, moving on to item 8.6, set regular meeting times. Any questions or comments regarding this agenda item? Can I get a motion to adopt 8.6, set regular meeting times?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Member Plancarte moves, and Member Jones seconds. Student member, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. Board, please vote.
She changed it up on us.
Ms. Barrios?
6 ayes.
Great, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to 8.7, set regular meeting dates for 2024. I know that, so there's a preliminary calendar that has been laid out. I know that there was, and we sent that out to the board in advance just to make sure that there weren't any potential conflicts. I know that Member Plancarte, that you may have noted that there is a potential issue, so we wanted to have a discussion here to see if we do want to make any adjustments to the meeting dates for 2024.
Yes, I would like to make a comment. So I understand that we've got a meeting scheduled for September 3rd, and that is following a holiday. And in order for us to better digest the information that comes from the board agenda, I would like to propose if there is any concerns or any reasons why we can't shuffle around the dates of September, if there's a reason being for that meeting to be held on that very first week of September, then obviously I don't have an issue with that, but I'd like to at least entertain a discussion around the September 3rd date.
Member Jones?
I also wanted to bring up that it says August 16th and August 20th, and I believe it's the 6th, not the 16th. I could check my calendar, but I will be using my phone to do that. Hold on. Uh-oh. Did we get a wrong date on there? I think we've got a wrong date. It should be the 6th instead of the 16th of August. It should be the 6th.
Yeah, but the document is correct.
Okay, great.
As long as the document is correct.
Okay. Any other comments on dates? And by the way, just to provide a clarification, so earlier this year, we already voted to approve the dates for the spring semester. And so those are listed in the agenda item as previously scheduled. And so presuming that we're still going to follow that, but the new dates are really what we're paying attention to here, which would be fall semester 2024. So August 6th is a typo. There's a request to potentially move September 3rd since it falls right after a holiday. Are there any other requests or observations regarding the fall schedule?
I note that sometimes depending on how the calendar flows, there could be a Tuesday meeting right after Martin Luther King's birthday. I don't know. I think to me, it's really the staff and their time frame, because that we do have an extended long weekend to look over the agenda, because it would be posted before the meeting on September 3rd. So I would like to hear from staff and their thoughts.
So are you talking about the January date? Or you said Martin Luther King? You said Martin Luther King.
I'm just saying that as an example.
Oh, okay.
There might be another two meetings a year because Tuesday follows a Monday holiday. So I think really it's setting the agenda up and looking at it and responding to board questions is really where the crunch is going to come in. And so I would like to hear what staff has to say about it.
I would like to move our meetings back to Thursday. Just kidding.
Look at her. Look at.
Make that recommendation, but I
Yay. We can accommodate the board. We're pretty good at taking last minute questions. We try our hardest. We'll always accommodate board members. So if we want to leave it on Tuesdays, just so that we have these consistency and especially for the public, which is why you do it on first and third or whatever, we keep the consistency, but then we just know that if people are on vacation, we might get some late questions. And I think we typically do our best, and sometimes if they're lengthy, it's a little challenging, but we really do try to do our best on that. So I think we will continue to do that. It doesn't seem like a problem to us, but to me, I don't know. What do you think? Are we okay?
Okay.
Other questions, comments from the board? Okay, so to summarize, what I'm understanding is that although there's a typo on the agenda item in the actual document, so we're meeting August 6th, the question is whether we want to move September 3rd, and Member Plancarte or whoever, is there a request for a specific date? Or staff? Dr. De Leon, do you have a preference?
I'm sorry, could you
So
say it again?
if we're going to move the September 3rd date, is there a recommendation for a date that we should move to?
Thursday.
Okay, which is what date?
The 5th.
Okay, all right.
I think that makes sense, because then the board's not required to spend their weekend reading through everything.
Right,
also.
because then we would
Well-
post on Monday.
Right.
And then I think it really does allow the staff also to, have that extra time as well to really take in our questions and provide our answers as well without interrupting their holiday.
Hold on here.
There's a
Does that mean you're going to have time for more questions? Wait a minute, okay, wait. Let me change my
Probably.
comments.
Thursday meetings are better. You get more questions.
Okay. Any other comments?
No,
Okay,
so I move,
We may have a majority for a move to Thursday meetings. I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay,
Ms. McCarr has a
I think
comment as
we're
well.
going to revisit that. Okay. Okay,
I
so
would like to make,
Member Thomas?
I would like to approve the new dates from August through December, with the exception of changing September 3rd to September 5th, from Tuesday to Thursday.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion to adopt the proposed schedule with the change of September 3rd to September 5th. Student member, how do you vote?
Yay.
Okay, board, can
Thank
you
God.
please vote via board docs?
Six ayes.
Motion carries, thank you. So moving on to 8.8, appointment of board representative to Mission Valley Regional Occupation Program, so ROP. Any comments or questions from the board regarding this agenda item?
So currently, our representative is Member Thomas, and the alternate is Member Plancarte.
I would love to continue as the board representative to MVROP.
And I'm okay with being the alternate. I had a great time at the meeting where I had to attend, and it's a great organization.
So any other comments from the board regarding this agenda item?
No, I'd like to move to approve the placement of Member Thomas as the representative and Member Plancarte as the alternate.
I'll second.
Okay, so motion to approve Member Thomas as the, what's the right term, full-time? Sorry,
Oh.
regular member? I don't know.
There are three members, one from each district, and I would be representing Newark Unified.
Okay, so the primary, thank you. So, motion by Member Wen to appoint President Thomas as primary representative to ROP and Member Plancarte as the alternate. And can we get did we get a second? Okay, sorry, and it's seconded by Member Jones. Student member?
Yes.
Okay. Board, can you vote?
Sorry, I mean, yay.
There you go.
Six ayes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Barrios. So moving on to 8.9, appointment of board representative to Regional Policy of Board Special Education Local Plan Area, SELPA. Any questions or comments from the board?
Our current primary representative is Member Jones, and I am the alternate. Member Jones, did you still want to be primary?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with being the alternate as well, unless Member Plancarte or Member Thomas or Member Hill, President Hill.
I would like to make a motion that we appoint Member Jones as primary representative to the ROP, the SELPA board, and Member Nguyen as the alternate.
I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, so Member Thomas moves to appoint Member Jones as the primary representative to SELPA and Member Plancarte as the alternate. So student member, how do you vote? Student member?
Yes.
Okay, great. Board, please vote.
6 aye.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to 8.10, appointment of a board representative to Newark Teacher Induction Advisory Council. Any questions or comments from the board?
Our current primary representative is President Hill and Member Plancarte as the alternate.
And I'd like to, if the board permits it, I'd like to stay on this committee since I am a teacher. But if somebody feels incredibly passionate about it, I'm willing to hand over the keys.
Nope, you're more than welcome to do that. The only committee you can't be on it primary is the audit committee, so.
Okay, great. So any other questions, comments?
Nope, I move to approve
President?
President Hill and Member Plancarte for the Newark Teacher Induction Advisory Council.
I'll second.
Okay, so Member Nguyen moves to appoint President Hill as the Induction Advisory Council primary representative and Member Plancarte as the alternate. Student member, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, great. Board, can you please vote?
6 aye.
Great, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item 8.11, appointment of board representative to Bond Parcel Tax Committee. Any questions or comments from the board?
Oh, I think, it depends on how it's laid out. So currently, the representatives are myself and Member Plancarte and President Hill as the alternate. I would like to stay on the Bond Parcel Committee.
Yay. And I will stay on as well.
So I make a motion that Members Nguyen and Member Pancarte remain on the Bond Parcel Tax Committee.
Can we get a second?
Do we need an alternate?
With an alternate of Member Hill, President Hill, I will second that.
With an alternate of President Hill.
Thank you.
So Member Thomas moves to appoint Member Nguyen as the primary representative on the Bond Parcel Tax, Members Nguyen and Plancarte as members of the Bond Parcel Tax Committee with President Hill as an alternate. Student member?
Yes.
Great. Board, can you please vote?
6 aye.
Great, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to section 8.12, appointment of board representative to audit committee. Comments, questions from the board?
Since Member Hill cannot be on that committee, and I am currently on the City of Newark Liaison Committee, I would be happy to be on the audit committee and allow someone else to be on the liaison committee.
Okay, great. Any other comments?
Member Jones, did you still want to be on the audit committee?
I'll stay on the audit committee, yeah. The consistency, I think, would be good.
All right. With that, I'd like to make a motion to have Member Thomas and Member Jones as the two primary representatives for the audit committee, and I will stay on as the alternate.
Can we get a second?
Second?
Okay, so the motion is to have Member Thomas and Member Jones as the primary members of the audit committee, with Member Wen as an alternate. And so, student member, how do you vote?
Yes.
Member Jones, right? Yes, Member Jones. Yeah. Okay. Okay,
What was the vote? 6 ayes.
great. Motion carries. Moving on to 8.13, appointment of board representative to the City of Newark, NUSD Liaison Committee. Any questions or comments from the board?
Currently, I'm one of the primary representative. Member Thomas has decided that she is going to step down if somebody else is interested. I'm asking to stay on just because they already appointed me as the chair in January, so unless any one of you guys want to, and then they can reselect a chair.
So,
And
if people wouldn't mind, I mean, I'd like, because it's 2 members, right? Is it 2 members?
it's a two-member, and
Yeah.
then,
So I'd also like to serve with you, Member Wen, but
Okay.
I'm happy with you being the chair. So.
you sure you don't want to be the chair?
Don't want to
Double
upset
presidency?
I don't want to upset the apple cart, and I don't want to become power crazed, so.
Are we sure? We'll see.
Well, I don't know, maybe tell me more about that position.
That is a lot of power.
No.
But again, open to board comments, and if there's somebody else that feels super passionately about it, I mean, I'm
We meet
flexible.
quarterly, it's not, yeah.
And I'm fine with staying on as the alternate.
So I move that members Hill and Wynn be the primary members of the liaison committee, with member Jones as the alternate.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Great, student member, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, board, if you can please vote.
Six aye.
Motion carries.
Member Wen?
President Hill, I know that we skipped over item 6.1, Student Board Member Report. Student Board Member Joy Lee would like to, if you can give her the floor so that she can give her report at this time.
I don't have an issue with that. Does the board agree that we want to? Okay, great. Okay, so let's make an adjustment to the agenda, given that Member Lee has made herself available. And so, so please, why don't you go ahead and give us the student report?
Yes, thank you so much. Happy December, board members, executive cabinet, and community members. Winter break is only 12 days away, and I wanted to give a shout out to all the teachers and staff who are hanging in there and working hard until the break comes, and also all the students who are just studying for their tests for finals week, and also give good vibes to the people who are having a break right now because all their tests are over and they're just chilling. So LOVE Newark is hosting their annual toy drive for the holidays. If you would like to donate, you can drop off any new and unwrapped toys to the main office or the activities office at the high school. The last day to donate is December 17th. And also currently at Newark Memorial High School, we are having our Winter Spirit Week. We're partnering with the Fremont High Schools, and we're having a competition to see which school would have the most dress-ups or collect the most coins for their school. And so,
Collect the most what?
collect the most coins.
Coins.
Yeah, so if you guys would like to donate some coins, I can bring it to the school tomorrow so we can beat the Fremont schools.
Okay.
And so currently in fourth place, that's us. We are in fourth place right now. Newark is in fourth place. Kennedy is in first place, Mission San Jose is in second, American High School in third, and then Newark in fourth. So we've been doing pretty good, but I believe last day we can do even better. So if you would like to donate some coins, parents, if you would like to give coins to your students so that they can put it in the jar at the New York Memorial High School.
And tomorrow's the last day?
Tomorrow's the last day. It's out during lunchtime, so like only like the students. Okay, thank you. And then next, FSU, Filipino Student Union, partnered with our ASB, our leadership, and had a parol making event today during pause. Parol is a decorative star-shaped lantern traditionally made from bamboo and string. These festive stars are lit and hung in the Philippines during the Christmas season. And then next, at the Birch Grove Intermediate and Coyote Hills Elementary Schools, they had their first Girls Who Code showcases. I hope this experience made an impact on their lives that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. And if I'm not mistaken, Newark Middle School choir and band just had their winter concert today, and then Schilling also had their Lion King musical today. So I'm sure it was amazing. Congratulations. And congratulations to all the people who put in their hard work to make the event happen. And then also speaking about choir and band, our Newark Memorial High School band and choir concert will be on 7 p.m. at Newark Memorial High School in the theater. And they're having their winter concert tomorrow, this Friday. And so if you haven't bought a seat yet, you should go buy a seat and go reserve tickets at GoFund now, or you can come to the door and buy a ticket. So please come and enjoy the winter festivities before it ends. And that is everything. Thank you.
Thank you, student member. Okay, if we can move on to agenda item 9.1, employee organizations. So it looks like we have Ms. Villa from NTA. Welcome, Ms. Villa.
Thank you. Good evening, school board, executive cabinet, and our Newark community. My name is Sherry Villa, and I'm president of our Newark Teachers Association. I have just a few things here to share with you guys tonight. Number one, the appointment of our new board president, Member Hill. NTA, we're behind you. We're behind all of you. In addition to Member Wynn's support for all of our schools, Member Plancart, as a parent of our community, Member Jones, as a 25-year teacher in our district. 32, I'm sorry, 32-year teacher.
That last 7 years count.
I'm sorry, you're right, I'm sorry. 32, I keep forgetting this.
That's okay.
32, you're a teacher in our district. Member Hill, a community member, and Member Thomas, a longtime resident and a longtime school board member. I know firsthand all of you have love for each and every one of our school sites. You want the best for our school sites, and you support all of our school sites. It might not be seen every day and at every event, but we feel you. We know you're there, so thank you very much. So as a board, as a whole, NTA is behind you. It does come with a condition, I must say, that we need to make things happen sooner than later, not next year.
And Member Villa, just to remind you, I'm also a
fellow teacher.
President. So, Ms. Villa, president of the NTA. So just to remind you, I am a fellow teacher.
That's right. That is right. Fellow teacher, and in addition to being a community member. We thank you, and we look forward to working together to make things happen in our district. Mr. Burrell, again, on this power part, another batch of subs being added. I know you always say you're just one of a group in there, but your guidance, that's over 25 subs added to our sub pool. So, and we are starting to feel the effects of that, and it's a long time coming, so thank you. So Mr. Burrell did let me know at our meeting the other day that his time with us is coming to an end, and thank you very much from all of our NTA members. if you should happen to come in our district again, we welcome you with open arms, but thank you. You've inspired me and not just me, other NTA members. That there's a light at the end of this tunnel here. So thank you very much, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Superintendent and Ms. Vakar, our financial troubles and our staffing issues and all the things that we have to work on in our district were here long before you guys got here. The fact that both of you were willing to relocate here to Newark to take on these issues, to me, that's huge. To our members, we're giving you a chance. Again, it doesn't come without a condition, though. We need to make things happen, and they already have. Every meeting that I have with Superintendent De Leon, she's very attentive. She's very, let's move forward, let's make a decision. So, Superintendent, thank you. Ms. Vakar, again, look forward to working with you. All right, moving on to the personnel report that's coming up later in the agenda. It has the appointment of Mr. Mike Murphy as interim principal for our high school. Our high school teachers, every single one of them, appreciate moving forward on this. We all would like to say thank you to, I want to say Superintendent Bernard, to interim principal Bernard and interim principal Pat Irby for helping to get things going over there and setting up things as they are now. So thank you to Mr. Bernard and to Mr. Irby and every single one of the teachers at the high school. They are on board and ready to support Mr. Murphy in being successful and getting some positive momentum going at the high school. Other than that, happy holidays to everybody and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell. Okay, moving on to agenda item 10.1, Superintendent Report. Superintendent?
Thank you, President Hill, Vice President Jones, members of the board, community, our wonderful staff, and family and friends. First of all, it feels like just an evening for thanks and gratitude and celebration. And we're also going to do some fact-finding at the end. But I do want to, first of all, thank all the previous board, the previous officers for all of their help and their support. Thank you so much to President Thomas for your dedication to this district. You were a just amazing president for me starting, and thank you. And not just this year, but let's not forget, like 20 some odd years of dedication to this board. And by the way, it doesn't pay well. It's a lot of work, a lot of work, and yeah. Yeah, they're not unionized. But we do thank you so much, and to you, Member Hill, for all of your support. Both of you, you've been wonderful, and good luck and congratulations to our new president and vice president. It's going to be a great year. I'm excited. Thank you. I, too, have to give the world's biggest thanks to Mr. Burrell. He came in a teacher shortage crisis. I mean, there's no other way to say it, but it was a crisis. And with no teachers, no subs. And all of the things that go along with that. There's just a lot of emotion involved in a teacher shortage, in any kind of staff shortage, but particularly when our kids don't have the people that mean the most to them in their classroom every day. It causes a breakdown on many, many levels, and you handled that with grace, compassion, care, thoughtfulness. You put your whole heart into it, as well as everything else that was going on in the district. And we could not have gotten through it without you. So I'm forever grateful to you, and I will hold you in a great place in my heart going forward. Thank you.
I'm always going to share it back to the team working together in the HR department and working with NTA and President Villa. and working hand in hand. In all the districts I've worked with, I haven't worked in, I've stayed steady in many, and stepping into this consultant role, it's nice to be able to leave a piece of my heart here as well, and I have given my whole heart during the last 5 months and have an opportunity to continue on in some of my consulting work, but that doesn't mean our paths may not cross again in a different manner, hopefully not as filling in for a shortage, but maybe, some other types of work as well. So it has been a true pleasure to be a part and get to know a community that I only saw as I passed by on 880, and now I know for, wholeheartedly, how, where the good parks are, and where the good places to eat are, and where the good schools are. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate that greatly, and look forward to our paths crossing again. So thank you.
Thank you. I also want to give our thanks to our 2 interim principals who are finishing up at Newark Memorial, Dr. Bernard and Irby. That is a tough job. And they came in and had a lot of work to do. And they have just been wonderful. And it's tough. It's tough being an interim. And they've stepped up. They really stepped up to the plate. And I just want to thank both of you. If you're watching, I hope you're not. But if you are, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And so do our Cougars. Thank you so much. And we look forward to Mr. Murphy in that role. And we also have some assistants, administrative assistants coming as well. We haven't inked the contract, so I don't want to say a name until that's happened, but I think that's going to happen this week. So we'll have administrative assistants so that we're not down there, and Mr. Murphy will have a partner in that work. So we're really excited about that. I too want to thank our labor partners. In my view, we cannot move a district unless we work together in a positive way. And every single meeting with you, Sherry, and our team from NTA, and also our wonderful team under Maria's leadership over in CSEA, every meeting has been positive and productive. Like you said last time, we don't always agree on everything. That's the nature of the business, but every single meeting we do move forward. We do come together collegially and we move forward. And that, I want to say, is in large part due to your leadership, President Villa, and I want to thank you so much for that, always. And do know that we love, love, love all of our staff, our wonderful certificated and classified and confidential staff and administrative staff. So thank you so much. I want to thank our community for coming out tonight. I want to thank our Schilling parents for coming and showing deep care and concern for their school. It is hard, having been the principal of the school with the highest poverty rate, the highest English learner rate, and all of that. Having been there myself, that is hard. It is hard. But I want our Schilling community to know that we are dedicated to supporting them. We're dedicated to your programs and helping you be the best school around. So I want you to hear that, and I want you to know that, and I look forward to meeting all of you tomorrow night at your PALS meeting. I want to celebrate Rosalina. What a great job she did on her very first board meeting tonight. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited to be part of the Newark community, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, and then just briefly, I mentioned we'd do a little bit of fact-finding before I'm done, and I just want to make sure that everybody has some information. There were some pieces of information that were said at the last board meeting, and I want to make sure to correct anything that maybe wasn't. So there was information about the fact that that superintendents should not have credit cards, and superintendents don't have credit cards, and so I polled all of the superintendents in the county, and I had 16 of the 20 respond, and of those, 12 have a district credit card, 75%, and probably as many in the last 4. So I just wanted everybody to know that it is pretty standard. And in saying that, I also wanted to say, thank God I had a district credit card. Because, as you know from the memo that I sent you, board, over the Thanksgiving holiday, we had, I had an urgent message that I needed to, that we needed to get a stolen van out of impound, and it was found up in Ukiah of all places, and it was stripped and not usable. And I was, number one, the only person authorized to sign for it as an agent, because you have to be technically the person who signs as the title holder of the district. And then also, they had to have a credit card, and that equaled almost $4,000. And so any idea that the credit card is used for anything other than business, and that that particular thing almost maxed out the card right away. But I just want everybody to know that we're very, very strict about the usage of the credit card. It's not for anything except what the business of the district. And it was a really great thing, because I was out of the state and we needed to pay because they were charging $150 for every day they kept it. And so it was like, who's going to pay? Because nobody was around to pay. And so luckily I had the district credit card on me and faxed all that over to the towing place. So again, I just wanted to clarify that for the community, because I don't want there to be any misinformation out there about those kinds of things. So in any case, and then one last thing I wanted to say, that I had the most fabulous time at our STEAM fair over at Ohlone College last weekend, where we got to see our rocketry club shoot off a rocket, the exact same, I think, similarly to what they do in competition, although I think they're making a much bigger one for one of their competitions. But that was fantastic, and I know they raised good money. And the district is also going to be making sure that we're funding as much as we can through instructional materials as well. So all of that is happening, and we're really excited about what's happening in the district. And I'm really happy to have Ms. Fakar here to help us through some of these things that are going on that you're going to hear about in just a minute. So thank you, board, and I appreciate everything, all your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Any questions from the board? Member one.
I just have one comment. I just wanted to note that the rocket that was launched was actually made partially out of cardboard. So, yes. And it went up pretty high, as you can see. So the kids, for the students who are in part of the NASA launch, they will be building rockets with carbon fiber, so different materials that are going to be stronger, and it's supposed to launch farther. So that, can you imagine what they can do with different materials? And so I just wanted to commend them. They did a wonderful job, and there was a huge turnout, a good turnout for them and in support of them. And so that was wonderful to see.
It was great.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
Thank you for the clarifying comments.
You're welcome.
Great. So moving on to item 11, new business, 11.1, 23-24, first interim budget report. So Superintendent and Ms. Fakar.
Yes, thank you, Board, President Hill, members of the board, members of the community. Well, we are actually delighted to say that despite many issues that I will go into a little bit here in a second, the first draft of first interim was completed tonight at 5:30 p.m. So we are very, very happy about that. It's not in the presentation form to be able to bring to the board tonight, and then we need to add the MYP to it in order to submit it for approval and then to the county. So that'll be done very, very soon. But I did want to, first of all, address why it's not ready tonight. Because we don't want we want to clarify, and we don't want there to be any confusion about it. But what I can say is that we have had all hands on deck, and Ms. Vakar, the business services team, and our consultants working with the county around the clock for weeks, and especially the last 2 weeks after, on December 1st, our consultant who was doing the forensics and who we had hired to help us with first interim discovered a significant discrepancy of about $11.8 million and decreased, on the decrease side. And the way that this is my understanding, the way the calculator works and the way everything that all the equipment they use works, when there's a discrepancy in one place, it affects every single account. So there were literally hundreds of accounts where the balances were incorrect, which meant in order to bring the first interim home, every one of those has to be corrected. Now, had that not happened, we would likely have first interim tonight. But that we were alerted to that on December 1st. Ms. Vakar, as you know, began on December 4th. Immediately, we reached out to the county to say, like, what options are there? Can we get an extension? Is there, like, what do we do? Even despite that, the county was confident that if we had some additional assistance, that we could do it, we could get it done. And then, so we hired an additional accounting specialist to help us. And then on, I don't know, it was a Tuesday afternoon, we discovered another big roadblock in terms of our assumptions were needed to be resolved. So we knew at that point, this past Tuesday, that we wouldn't likely make it, though they kept trying and trying. And because they kept trying and trying, they did get the first draft tonight. They never gave up. They persevered. That's our business services staff. That's Ms. Vakar. That's the county. The county was really invaluable in their assistance to us. And so and our consultants, I just have to thank everybody for helping us with this. I don't even know how to accurately describe what it's like to find an error like that. I know Ms. Vakar has said they believe there was a software glitch at some point. They don't know how or when it happened, but what was presented in unaudited actuals, that was not correct. So all of that had to be corrected, and it's a lot. But I want to thank you for your efforts. We're so excited that the first draft is done, and then we'll be pulling together the MYP, putting that together. We will, yes. A huge lift. We will have to have a special meeting to approve the final report with the MYP attached. Obviously, everybody's going out on vacation, so that would likely happen the first week we come back. That is still in time for the county's deadline, which is actually the state statutory deadline of January 15th. So in any case, that's where we are. Everybody gave it a hero's try, and we crossed the line. We're happy, and so still a little bit of work to do, but they will do it. So, Ms. Vakar, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I just will. A couple of things. I'd just like to really thank the team that worked with me to make this happen. I'd also like to thank all those in the district that worked on the budget before I even got here. They were careful, they were considerate, and we will bring back a report to the board with an MYP to give us a clearer picture as to what the next 3 years looks like, which will be good. There are a few other assumptions that were changes in the budget. I can share that with you. As you know, we had less enrollment than what we initially calculated. That also had an impact, which also had a change into many of the lines and had to be recognized in that piece of it. I felt good this evening when we were able to finally get that run in the SAC system. It felt really good. And they give us a little clearer picture. We're going to go backward and compare that to the original adopted budget and to the unaudited actuals. And then we're going to do a comparison with that. There might be a few more little small cleanups that we need to do with some adjustments. And then, as you know, forecasting out, part of your adopted budget had a much greater COLA than what the governor is now predicting. And so we're also adjusting that within our first interim. So we're also making that adjustment. And that also has an impact overall to the budget.
Ms. Vicar, let's even be more specific. So just so you can have this in your head for what that looks like. We're going from an over 8% COLA to 1%. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll squeeze out 1.2. So drastic. So if your MYP, your previous MYP was based on a higher COLA, like I think conservatively it was 4, put in as 4, it's 1. So a 3% difference is a big difference, and so that also impacts it.
By the way, we don't set that number here at the district. That number is set by the governor's office. We'll hear more from him when he does his January, budget forecast, and we get a chance to see that. We'll know whether or not that 1% stays. If so, we'll make an adjustment in the second interim.
I have a quick question. Sorry, for those like me who don't know, what is COLA?
Yeah, that's the cost of living adjustment. And so, you know, as you look, it's a great economic question, right? Yeah.
Oh, cost of living adjustment.
Yeah, and they call it a COLA, and a lot of things are based on a COLA. So like if the economy is up, right, and sales tax are up, that actually has an adjustment in inflation that happens along with how that COLA is adjusted. So great question.
Okay, thank you so much.
And student member, I think that what Superintendent and CBO are telling us is we're about to go on a diet COLA. So.
Oh, that's bad.
And with that, Member Thomas.
Point of order.
I am not forecasting a zero COLA.
So, anyway, Ms. Vicar, you used the term MYP for so folks at home that might not know what a MYP is.
So that's a multi-year projection, and one of the things that came out, a couple decades back, is that they really wanted to make sure that school district and municipals really looked at multiple years when they were, so you project out. You have budget assumptions that you kind of use, kind of based on how the economy looks. You're listening to all those things, and so when you're creating your budget, you're also not only creating it for this year, but you're creating it for the next 2 years out. And so that multi-year is kind of like if you had your crystal ball and you're listening to what the experts are saying, you're going to add those assumptions in there to be able to create your budget, very much so as if you were a new college student going off to college and you have to forecast out what your costs are going to be over the next couple of years as you go through college, right?
So you're basically like budgeting.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is.
Trying to predict. That's guesstimate.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to sit down with you one day and maybe just kind of just chat about it and share some information with you if you're interested.
Love to.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Member 1?
So just to clarify a question, so we were allowed an extension by the county to submit?
No, we were actually told that there's no process for an extension. There's no such thing. So we just kept working. There's also really no penalty. But we really continued to work and committed to trying to fix it because really the county thought that we could bring it home. And had we not had that last obstacle, we probably could have, but yeah, they kept supporting us saying, no, you can do it, we can do it, we can do it. So we continued working on it.
So my question is, to follow up, what is the actual deadline date that we have to submit the first interim to the county? Because my understanding was the reason why we moved this board meeting is so that we can approve it tonight so that you guys can submit it tomorrow on the 15th. So
Correct. That is the deadline. The deadline is the 15th. The state deadline is January 15th. That's why we scheduled this meeting, was so that we could have it done the whole time. We were trying to meet this date.
And Superintendent,
Yeah.
just one clarification. I think that was one reason. And then my understanding is the other reason is that, and I'm not the expert here, and Member Thomas can probably comment on it, but in order for us to do the organizational meeting, we have to make an announcement prior, and we didn't make that announcement.
No, which is totally fine. I don't
Yeah.
care about that. I care more about understanding, we've always made deadlines, submitting first interim on December 15th.
Correct.
So my concern is, and like you said, are there actual penalties? Are we
No.
held to something or,
Go ahead.
if we don't submit it by December 15th?
No, I did check. There are no penalties if we don't submit on time. County is aware that we have been working towards this. They have been an active partner in helping us get all the credentials that we need to be able to get into the systems. And they have been extremely supportive. I'm grateful for their guidance as we move forward to be able to navigate this, especially after I was alerted by the first consultant as to some of the concerns that she had on the first.
Correct, because you guys, I did send a question to Superintendent De Leon asking, normally we have the budget report attached as an attachment so that we can review it, and we didn't have any time to review it. So there's no on the agenda it says there's an action tonight, but you're saying that we don't have any actions tonight on this item.
We do not. We do not have any actions tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
So just to clarify, we will be having a special meeting to approve this, and obviously with that special meeting, we will have the interim report to review in advance so that we can review it and ask questions at that special meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
Member Jones? I'm sorry, Vice President Jones.
I just want to thank both of you for working so hard and diligently, and I know that you have, I've had conversations about you working with the county and really trying to make this happen, and so I very much appreciate the hard work that you have put into really trying to get it to this point. And I think the fact that you were able to get a draft with all the not loopholes, but valleys that you had to, obstacles that you had to overcome. And I know enough about accounting to know that when you find one thing, it impacts so much more than that. It's like one step forward and 10 steps back, because you have to go back to the root of where that issue is. And if you don't, then you're not fixing the problem. You're just exacerbating it. So I appreciate the tenacity that you have spent working on this, especially over the last 3 or 4 days. So thank you both.
Member Wen?
And your team.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I
sorry.
just want to make sure that Vice President Jones was completing her sentence. I didn't want to interrupt. I do have a follow-up question. So in that regards, you said that there were errors. So my expectation for the next, in the special meeting regarding the first interim report is that you specifically point out where the error is and how it affected all the other budgeting line items in the budget report. Because we keep hearing about it, but we don't know what the actual error is, and I would really like that if you can, during the interim report, explain that, and how that error, and how you were able to find that error, and how you were able to correct it.
Actually, I will tell you that the county doesn't know, we don't know, and the county doesn't know where the error came from. The best we can tell is it was from the calculator. And the fact there may have been a calculator change from the original adopted budget to the unaudited budget, or to the unaudited actuals. There was, sometime in there was some sort of a change that happened. I don't have an explanation as to why it happened. We went back to try to figure it out, and then tried to go back then and try to re-go through every account to figure out if there was something that we did, from what we can tell. It's not something that we did on our end.
So just a clarification here. So during the course of our preparing the first interim, and we were getting county assistance initially during this time period, we discovered an anomaly, right, that then turned out to be bigger. And my understanding is that this error that this anomaly was actually dating back to even prior submissions to the county, and the county hadn't even caught it prior. So I think everybody got caught a little bit flat-footed. But then when you got the correct county people engaged, they confirmed that there was an anomaly, that the numbers were not correct. And so everybody's been working together to resolve that, but we're still trying to understand the source of the problem.
Yeah, there was definitely, the initial consultant spent a lot of time trying to go back to see if it was something that was on our end. She can't find anything on our end. So the best we can figure is that it had to do with that particular calculator at the time. And I think maybe that's the best way I can describe it. I have to go back and reread the email that I saw on this particular piece. And I can maybe then explain it from that point, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, but also, I mean, like, clearly, if there's an $11 million error, the number has to show somewhere on the budget book. So it's somewhere on the line item. And I remember specifically, I know that it was in closed session, but I can't, so I'm not going to make any statements here, but our consultant, Mr. Berg, had alluded to the fact that he was able to identify it, but he never really showed us what it was. So, so I'm bringing it back to that. And obviously, if it's somewhere there and, numbers don't lie, so we need to know. I mean, if there's a calculation error or whatever it is that a software system created, it will still show. There's an audit trail.
And
I
so
don't disagree with you on some of those comments.
Yeah, and so to Member Wen's point, I think that when we're able to, and obviously this needs to happen sooner rather than later, that both we need maybe some more detailed play-by-play of exactly what happened, and where we are. But then I think also if you've discovered the source of the error, right, we would want to understand that. But if we haven't by that point, then we need to have a plan to mitigate, because obviously, right, if we're not understanding it, it could happen again, and so we have to somehow get to the root cause.
Right. I most certainly understand the concerns, and I share the same concerns.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and
As a new person coming in, believe me, I share those concerns. That's
Sure.
not what you want to hear on your first day.
Yeah, my understanding is that we've always had a large fallout at the end of the year when we do the actuals, and it's always a surprise, but this year it was exceptionally large fallout in our favor.
Yeah.
It turns out that's probably not been in our favor. So that's kind of the first hint at that there was something wrong.
Yeah, I think it'll be important to go back and really review the 3 different reports, and take a look at.
See where it doesn't match. Something's not.
There needs to be a really close comparison done with it.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Student board member has a question.
Student board member?
So just to clarify, do we have less money now or like more money than projected?
A little less money.
Okay, thank you.
I think, and I'll be honest, in saying that and looking at that, I need to go back because there are some things that qualify that. For instance, we've got less students than what we initially projected. Remember when I said we were forecasting?
Yes.
When we create the budget? So if we do the budget based on X number of students, but now we've got less numbers of students that actually enrolled in our program, your budget's going to adjust down. So it may not, as far as per student, maybe not necessarily look different on that end of it because you're still going to get your same student cost. So the answer is yes, it does go down, but I think there's reasons as to why it is down that can be explained.
So to increase our budget, we need to retain our students and bring in more.
Absolutely. That is a number one
So
goal.
enrollment drives revenue.
Yes.
Right, so we get our funding based on the number of students that we have,
And then,
and it's approximately $10,000 per student.
and then, this is like, I don't want to like miss anything, but like, are we like taking any steps to like, have we taken any steps to like increase enrollment yet? Or
Yeah, the district, I think,
Yeah,
is
they've
trying
talked
to.
a lot about that in
Yeah.
this board meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Okay.
needs to be more strategies as well as we move forward.
Okay.
And it's everybody that works on this
Yeah.
together. It's not just one department, it's not just the business department, it's everybody collectively working on this together. And also creating really great programs that attract students to want to be in our district.
And
Really important. And we heard some of those comments this evening about great programs and, what our parents love to see. Those are really important elements that we heard.
And I think that the important thing to understand is that I think that there's maybe been some misunderstanding sometimes around the numbers, but bottom line, it seems really increasingly that we've been in a structural deficit for many, many years, right? And so what that means is that we're spending more than we have in terms of income, and there's a lot of root causes, but the primary root cause is enrollment, right? So that doesn't mean that we can't cut in certain areas or use our money better in certain areas, but it's probably the way that we're going to get out of this is through enrollment, and that's where we all really need to focus in our efforts. And student member, we have some ideas for how you can help.
Oh, yes, we do. That's great. Okay, I'm very open. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
No, thank you for asking them. We appreciate that.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, so I just want to thank Superintendent and Ms. Fakar for all of the hard work in this, and I know that it's been very stressful, and also the entire team, right, that's been working on this both internally here as well as at the county, and although there's still work to be done, but again, thank you. And I'd like to just make a comment, which is I understood that you've been having some long days and long nights, and so including last night and this morning. And so again, appreciate the team spirit and all the hard work, and we're going to get it solved.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So moving on to the consent agenda. Does anybody want to pull anything on the number 12 personnel items?
I'd like to pull 12.2 just for a real easy question. It'll just take a second.
Okay. Any other items that we want to pull?
No, don't look at me like that. I don't have anything to pull today. Except to say congratulations to Steve.
There you go.
Well, not really, because we're gonna miss him.
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve 12.1 and 12.3?
I don't think we have.
I'm sorry, 12.3.
I move to approve item 12.3.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Student member?
Yes. Student
Oh,
student
that's
member
right. No,
does not.
she can't vote on that. I'm sorry. So Joan, member Jones, did we do them? Oh, sorry, Plancarte, sorry. Okay, so when we're ready, no, hold on, we got to vote.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Item 12.2, increase in minimum wage, Member Thomas?
Yeah, I just saw the list, and I'm not sure what a student assistant is, and so I just thought I'd ask that question.
Sure. Yeah. So if we were to have a high school student come in and tutor down at the elementary school level, like in an after-school program where they're being paid outside of volunteer, then that would be the rate given to a student assistant that's coming in.
Okay, but we don't have any right now, do we?
I would have to verify that. Not to my
Okay.
aware.
Okay, with that, I move that we approve 12.2, increase in minimum wage.
I'll second.
Question. So are we getting a program, so student assistants?
Actually, I have to tell you, it is my absolute dream to have internships within our district and also have a grow your own teacher program in our district where our students then intern in our own classrooms. So that is to come when you talk about programs.
So in the coming, so hopefully, like, how soon? Like next year or like the year after that?
Soon. We are definitely working on those things. And actually, Ms. Fikar has a background in CTE and career-based programs, so she has also a lot of ideas around that. So we're excited. I can't wait to see our kids working in all of our schools, in our offices. It's great experience.
Yeah, a lot of our community ends up coming back to Newark anyway, so this is amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Can I please have the person who seconded the motion? Is that Member Jones? Okay.
No.
5 aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to agenda item 13, consent agenda, non-personnel items. Would anybody on the board like to pull anything from the consent agenda? Member Wen?
The warrant report, please.
Okay, great. So we'll pull 13.2, the warrant report. Any other items that we'd like to pull? Okay, I understand. So can I get a motion to approve 13.3, resolution declaring surplus equipment?
I move we approve 13.3.
I'll second.
So Member Thomas moves and Member Plancarte seconds for 13.3. No, it's because it's financial.
Oh, no, she does. She gets to
Oh,
vote on this.
okay, I'm sorry.
It's just the personnel.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm sorry, student member. Student member, how do you vote
Yes.
on? Okay. So student, go ahead.
6 aye.
Okay, 6 ayes, motion carried. Yeah, we're on non-personnel.
Oh.
Okay, so 6 ayes, motion carries for 13.3. So 13.2, member Wen?
Thank you, President Hill. I had submitted questions regarding the warrant report to Superintendent De Leon, and I would like to read out the one regarding the Wi-Fi access point because that was a great update by Mr. Paul Rose. Thank you, Mr. Rose. And I know that the community members and also students have been asking for this, so if you wouldn't mind, is it okay for me to read the answer? Okay, great. So my question was, there was a payment to AMS.net in the amount of $168,699.55 for the Wi-Fi access point for the high school. And my question was, have they been installed yet, or are they in the process of being installed? What is the current status of the project, and when is it anticipated to be completed? And then there is a payment to it's supposed to be CDWG in the amount of $3,798.61 for the Wi-Fi equipment upgrade. What equipment specifically is being upgraded? So Mr. Rose had mentioned in phase 1 at NMHS, the hardware was purchased and arrived late summer. New Wi-Fi controllers were installed, configured, and tested in September. Installation of the new Wi-Fi system started at NMHS in October. Memos and on-site assistance was offered by IT and NMHS admin to NMHS staff throughout the month of November in preparation on how the new system would operate. Installation of indoor and outdoor access points finished in late November, early December, and they're currently in the process of working with the vendor who installed the system, wrapping up the project, working on fine-tuning the Wi-Fi settings at NMHS. So have you seen any improvements yet, Member student member.
Yes, this is something I wanted to comment on. Unfortunately, I have been like hearing that like the Wi-Fi is still the same.
So I think because they're still in the process of
Yeah.
fine tuning it. So hopefully it will be.
Yeah, like today, in the ASB, in the library, we were having like a meeting, and then we checked like the Wi-Fi. It was at 2, so
Okay. So
still needs work.
that's good. That's good feedback for our staff to know so that they can still continue to fine tune the Wi-Fi settings, and hopefully everything will be up and running properly and functioning well after break. So let's hope for that. But thank you, Mr. Rose, for providing the answer. And then my last question I have is there's a payment to San Lorenzo USD for amount of $34,726.25 for CACFP meal delivery. And I wanted to know what CACFP meal delivery was.
And I'm going to tell you that I was remiss and I forgot to get the answer, but I will email it to the board.
Okay, that would be
I am
great.
so sorry. That's an acronym that I'm actually not familiar with.
Yeah, so I'm not concerned about the amount and what was being paid, but I just wanted to really know what the acronym was.
It's probably a cooperative or a consortium that we're in, but we'll look that up for you.
Great. So those were my 2 questions, and I am ready to make a motion to approve.
Just wanted to make a follow-up comment. And so thank you, Member One, for pulling the warrants report, and thank you about addressing the specific issue around the wireless access points. And so as we all know, right, this is a really important issue, right, and increasingly these days, and I can tell you as a teacher that, you know, that we rely on our networks now. I mean, literally, my whole class is digital, and so it's essential, right, for students, for teachers, for everybody. And again, want to thank Mr. Rose because he is, you know, doing a yeoman's job, right, in terms of all the things that he's responsible for, and really appreciate all his hard work. But one thing, and I know, Ms. Fakar, that you're coming into, you know, a lot of new things. You're drinking from a fire hose. But this is an area that I have concerns about, and as I've expressed in prior board meetings, I really don't feel that we have good processes around procurement. And there have been some problematic issues, from my opinion, in terms of so bidding and vendor selection and other things that are important. And in this particular situation, so back in February of this year, so we approved the vendor Colego Systems to effectively act as the prime and student member, since you're learning a lot these days about all these little code words. So when a vendor is acting, when you call them a prime, right, usually what that means is that they're taking a whole bunch of different things and pulling it all together. So they might have other vendors underneath them that are helping them, right? But that they're essentially the main point of contact, and they're the ones that build to the district, and then they're the ones that go out and pay the sub vendors, et cetera. So in February of this year, we made an award to Colego Systems, which is really the system integrator for this wireless access point. And the amount that we agreed on as a board and we voted on was $375,000 for this project. And that included both their services, but it also included the hardware. And so all of the access points, et cetera. So that was in February of this year, okay? In June of this year, June 1st, prior CBO had come forward and said that there were issues with Colego being able to act as the prime. So for whatever reason, they couldn't go out and purchase this equipment. And so the request was that we actually go and deal directly with the hardware vendors. And so there was a proposal so they had gone out to bid, and they had sent the bids out to 2 potential vendors, so CDW and AMS. And per this action item, CDW was actually awarded the work. So CDW came in at for a total of $244,000, almost $245,000. AMS was about $26,000 more. And so what it said in this agenda item on June 1st was, the recommendation is the Board of Education approve the purchase of Wi-Fi hardware equipment from CDWG as part of the Wi-Fi improvement project at Newark Memorial High School as presented. And also that the budget source was going to be coming from the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. But when we look at the warrant and what is actually coming through, the warrant is $167,000. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, to AMS. So why are we now contracting with the vendor that lost the bidding process, and that we, the board, explicitly approved their competitor to be doing this work? And so maybe I'm missing something, right? And maybe there's some other part that we're not aware of. And oh, by the way that the coding is working on this particular warrant, it doesn't tie to the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. So there's a lot of loose ends, and this is not the way that we should be running a railroad from my perspective. Now, again, if I'm incorrect, I'm happy to stand corrected, but I would like to request, and I think this is along the lines of both Member Wen and then also the student member, that I think we should really have in our next board meeting an update on this item, and maybe even invite in Collegial or whoever to provide a presentation on the status of this project. So that's my input, but I'd welcome comments from my fellow board members. Go ahead, student member.
So just to clarify, just so I get this right, we had a bidding process, and then CEW had one, but we paid. But we were paying AMS.
So correct. So we sent it out to bid. CDW was the low bidder.
Yeah.
The recommendation to the board was that we approve CDW as the vendor.
Yeah.
And we, the board, approve CDW as the vendor. So what that means is that we should have gone to CDW and bought the wireless access points and all that other stuff from them. So why are we now buying it from the people that lost the bid?
Okay.
So again, maybe there's something that's missing, but I think that we ought to investigate.
Yeah,
Correct.
we need to investigate. Thank you.
We will do that.
Any other comments, questions? Okay. And I feel uncomfortable. I mean, so all the warrants, right, we're ratifying, but I do kind of feel uncomfortable, although we've probably already paid these guys. But I feel a little bit uncomfortable in ratifying something that we, the board, explicitly said you should do the opposite of. So I'd actually like to defer to Member Thomas on your thoughts on this.
My thoughts, unless we have to approve this evening for some reason, that we delay it till the next meeting with an explanation. It's already been paid, yeah, but
If I may suggest, I most definitely understand your concerns. I will definitely investigate and come back with a report to the board and to the community about this concern. I think it's something that needs to be shared publicly, whatever it is, since you raised it publicly especially. But it is
And in
concerning.
the spirit of transparency.
Absolutely. So I most definitely share your concerns, and I'm happy to go off and investigate it. The rest, obviously this is a large document. And I think it should just be noted that there is a concern of the board in your motion that staff come back with a report and address this.
is it possible to approve with the warrant report with the exception of that one item? And then that one item, if we paid in error, we would follow up.
I don't think, my guess is it's already been paid, because you're really ratifying the warrant is what's really
Well,
happening.
I know it's already been paid. Well, we can't unpay it, but we can request, if it was paid in error, that we get our money back. That's,
Oh, absolutely.
so then,
I'm happy to write that letter if that's the truth, if that's the case.
But if they provided the
Equipment already,
Equipment.
and it's
Service.
installed.
Yeah,
then-
okay.
service.
Like, I need to find out if they were the sub to, was it CEWG? I need to find out whether or not AMS was a sub somehow. And I had to go back and look at the paper trail. You obviously have a great paper trail that you just shared.
Well,
I think-
I appreciate Member Hill doing the research and taking note of that. And, you know, usually with as many inputs or as many items are on a warrant report, we can't possibly go through all of them. But some of these big ones, we should be more aware, and I appreciate your finding it.
And the reason that I raise it is, I mean, obviously, it's a big item. And obviously, it becomes problematic once you've already had somebody do the work. And, you know, although technically you can do a clawback, and so I think that, you know, that we should get more information to evaluate that. But what I'm more concerned about is that just as you've been talking about the first interim, and that there were somehow some problems somewhere that were causing an incorrect output, I think that we need to do the same analysis around procurement. And I just feel that we have a lot of work to do in the procurement area, and would like to get attention on that and potentially some plans together, you know, this year or for the next, you know, fiscal year to really get it fixed.
And I appreciate our community member too, also sharing a concern with one of the warrant items. I'll check into
And
that
I
as well.
I was going to bring that up too. I think Ms. Park's comments were right on, that we should be looking at anything that's charged to the Fund 40 or Fund 25, developer fees or the Russian money. And we should be looking at those and making sure that we're not using that money for deferred maintenance and other, and we should have a budget for those. Those are board funds that we should have a budget for, and we should not be charging anything to those without being on a budget that's approved by the board. That's my thought.
Okay, if there are no other comments, can I get a motion to approve 13.2 warrant report?
I move to approve item 13.2.
I'll second.
Okay, Member Wen moves, Member Jones seconds. And I'm sorry, student member, how do you vote?
Yeah.
Okay, board members, please vote.
Six ayes.
Okay, great, thank you, motion carries. So moving on to student expulsion, agenda item 14.1, student expulsion, Ed Code 48918, case number E2324-07. Can I get, well, number one, are there any questions or comments from the board? Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
I move we approve the staff recommendation for case E2324-07.
I'll second.
Okay, so Member Thomas moves, Member Plancarte seconds. And student board member does not vote on this. Right. Okay, board, please vote.
Five ayes.
Great, thank you. Item 14.2, termination student expulsion, case number E2223-08. If there are no questions or comments, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve termination student expulsion, case number E2223-08.
I second.
Member Jones moves, Member Wen seconds. Board, please vote. Thank you, motion carries. Moving on to item 15, Board Education Committee reports, announcements, requests, debrief, and discussion. 15.1. So should we start with the student member?
I wanted to once again remind everybody about our rocketry team. Our NASA team. Let's continue to support them. It's a great opportunity for our district. And then also, wait, sorry. Is it better to say this now or later? Like the HVAC system at our school is like still not.
You can say it now.
Yeah. And then also it would be great if we could take a look at the high school's HVAC system, because I know it's having problems.
Member Wen?
Thank you, President Hill. Congratulations on your presidency. Looking forward to working with you on the liaison committee. I don't have anything to report out. I know that we are going to be starting the liaison committee, taking it over, so our city representative, our council members who are part of the liaison committee will be coming here for our meeting, so maybe we should get together for a meeting before that. To pre-plan, that would be great. And then, and I just wanted to thank Mr. Burrell for his hard work and dedication to our student during the interim. And thank you and your staff. I know that they're a huge part of the team that does a lot of the support for our recruitment and helping to retain and also answer a lot of questions for our teachers and our classified staff. So I just really want to appreciate them and all their hard work. I know it hasn't been easy, and your team is amazing, and you led them. So thank you so much for doing that and being a part of our team. We really appreciate you and everything that you've done for the district. So, and I hope that's true, that you do carry us in your hearts as you move forward. And I just really did appreciate your being able to, being able to really give me specific answers when I needed them, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for all the clarifications, and I wish you all the best in your new consulting job position.
Sorry, I was being a parent there for a second because I got a phone call from one of my children, and you never know. So it's sort of one of that panicky feeling of like, okay, it's 9 o'clock at night, and he was just asking like, what is Christmas in the park in San Jose? I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
Yes, and then to the rest of the staff, have a wonderful holiday. I know everybody works hard, and to our teachers, thank you for everything that you do, and our students. This is finals week coming up, and I wish you all the best. And thank you to all of our amazing coaches and our student athletes who have been really doing a wonderful job of managing school and also competing and having that camaraderie with the rest of the league in our district. So great job to them. And then lastly, I just wanted to wish my fellow board members a wonderful holiday. And I know that sometimes we don't always agree, but know that, I do care deeply about everyone here, and that it's okay that we disagree. So, but enjoy your holiday and have a wonderful time off. Enjoy. I'm super proud of you for always, asking questions when you're not, when you're not sure of something. And that's what we ask from even ourselves up here. There's never really a wrong question. Just ask and feel free to, make your voice heard. So thank you.
Member Plancarte?
I don't have any committee updates this time around, but I did want to just give quite a few kudos. I promise I'll keep it short. But I did want to give some kudos to Miss Kim. I was actually a part of a showcase from the Girls Who Code, and member Wynn was there as well. And I think it's just such a great thing that we're doing, and it's a really amazing opportunity for all of our ladies to help them realize that they can break into tech and they can rise up. So thank you so much. And I'd also like to thank the Lincoln community. Member Thomas and I were a part of a site visit, and I'd like to thank Principal Gallagher for, taking us around. And I also wanted to really just, say a praise to, we've got a lot of unsung heroes here, right? We've got our teachers, we got our staff and such. And I wanted to say a huge thank you to Ms. Borrego, the librarian over at Lincoln, because she was able to secure an author who came by and she read a book to all of the students there. Her name is Kristen Fodder, and she read The Day I Lost My Patient's Hat. And it was such a great thing to be a part of, because our teachers work so hard to, ensure that all of our students are really able to understand and digest, how to become writers and how to really, do a good job, because it's something that really is going to follow them for the rest of their lives. And it was a great support to see the author really go through the entire process of what it took her to really write this book and to go ahead and publish it, and how she had a process for an illustrator. And I just left Lincoln that day with my cup full to see the kids asking some really awesome questions, and just the staff are amazing there. And with that, I also wanted to thank you, Steve, because you and your team, you have been an integral piece of really trying to show our teachers that we care about them and that we support them, and you've been able to build up that pipeline of subs. And granted, I know we still need to continue to work on bringing on more teachers, and so I look forward to seeing that. And lastly, I'd like to also give a big kudo to some more unsung heroes, and those are our subs. There at Lincoln, I had the privilege to meet with one of the teachers who was subbing there for the day, Mr. Paul Agrees, and I found out that he is also a parent, and not only that, but he also leads the treasury over at the Lincoln Parent Teacher Club. And so really it's a collaborative effort. It really is to show our staff that, we care and we support them, because really it all leads to our students, and that's who we need to continue to never lose our focus and our sights on, is our students and their achievement, and how can we always do better for them. So thank you so much to everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season with whatever holidays you celebrate, and I look forward to seeing everyone back in the new year.
Member Jones.
I too do not have any committee updates at all, but just do want to reiterate everyone's hard work. And Steve, as everybody is thanking you for what you have given to us, I don't want it to go unknown that I'm remembering that plan you set forward, and how, each month and each quarter, what we need to do. And that was a real gift of bringing your expertise and putting it onto paper and giving the department a plan on how to move forward and how to continue to follow through with hiring teachers and hiring guest teachers and CSEA members. I mean, all those people are everyone is super integral to providing our students with the education and the environment that they need to learn in. And so I very much appreciate that gift that you gave us in that written document. And, look forward to hearing how your next steps are and how that's going for you, because you have given a lot to us, and I want you to know that we send our support with you on your next endeavor, and look forward to hearing from you. So thank you for everything that you have given the district from the, and the departments for sure. And again, you know, this district is all about the students. And so I wish all the students and their families the best of this holiday season and enjoying that break time together with family and friends and having some downtime. And, you know, for students and for staff to have that downtime and to come back regenerated and rejuvenated for January. And so that we can hit those last 5 months or those next 5 months of this school year. It seems hard to believe that you come back from Christmas and it's just 5 months. But I know for myself as a teacher and as a mom that having that time over vacation, winter break, was always a really important time, and that there are transitions that just take place in people. So to honor that, to honor that time and to really enjoy it and know that when you come back, you are starting a new year. And I look forward to seeing many happy smiles on people's faces. So my best for the season.
Thank you, Member Jones. Member Thomas?
Well, as far as committee reports, I attended the last MBROP meeting, and they got a clean audit report with no findings, which is always nice. And then we got notice afterwards that our CTIG grant, which we applied for every year, and this is a huge grant that benefits all 3 districts, we got about 90% of what we asked for.
Wow.
Almost $1 million, I believe.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah. And these are dollars that allow us to do a whole lot more than we could if we just relied on the district funding. And the district funding has been stable because of every year the ROP going after these grants and successfully getting them. So ROP is doing a good job for us. I too had the pleasure of going to the Girls Who Code event at Coyote Hills with Ms. Kim and some delightful girls who showed us their good work. There was a lot of parents in attendance, and it was a great event. And I really agree with you, Member Plancarde, about how important it is, given the statistics that Ms. Kim showed about how few girls are in the computer science field and what the need is. And in fact, in the country, how few, 40,000 out of 500,000 jobs are filled with our computer science graduates. So, you know, there's a big need there. Good area to go into in college. I do have a question, and maybe we could get an update on the status of finding a location for our high school graduation. Do you want to tell us?
No, because it's not finalized.
Oh, okay, good. Well, that's good.
As soon as I sign the document.
Oh, okay, great. So, and Ms. Jones and I are on the ad hoc policy committee, and I want to thank staff and the administrative assistants in the district office for meeting with us. And you can be assured there's going to be like 12 to 15 policies on every agenda going forward. But they'll all be clean, and you'll have no trouble approving them. And to Mr. Burrell, we're going to miss you. Thank you for everything you've done. And also a big thank you to Dr. Bernard and Pat Irby, who are moving on after helping us out. And so I think the district's in good hands. Things are going well. And welcome, Ms. Barrios.
Thank you.
My gosh. Just to take a note, Ms. Barrios comes from Berkeley, and she was an interim doing this job for several years, so she's very familiar, and she has great ideas and can really meld the best of what she learned and what they did in Berkeley with where we are, and I just see great things happening with our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Member Thomas, for those kind words and encouragement.
Okay, thank you. So I want to echo Member Thomas's recognition of Ms. Barrios, and so again, welcome to the team. And we're very excited, and I think that I'll just speak for myself. I'm very impressed with what you've done in just a very short period of time, and so again, it's appreciated. And I also have a potential present that I may be able to send your way, and that present is that when we all went up to CSBA to the conference in Moscone Center, I attended what some people might think would be a weird thing for a board member to attend, but I attended a session on executive administrative assistants who are supporting districts, and kind of what issues they face, what concerns they face, and the reason I attended that is because I know it's you guys that make things happen. And any smart executive knows that it's the executive assistants that you need to make sure you got the right people, and that you're getting help from them. And the present that I'm hoping to help you with is I learned in this session that it was a great session, very experienced executive admins. They have formed kind of a virtual team that here exists in the Bay Area that helps share knowledge, helps share templates, best practices, and so I want to connect you with those guys. There might be some great things that you might find, and you might be able to share some of your secret sauce as well. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I look forward to receiving that information. I look forward to working with everyone here and supporting our students.
Wonderful.
And can I add to that?
Go ahead.
I was sitting next to Member Hill, and just today, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I forwarded the presentation, which has links to all of the good documents and the people that will be there to help you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great. And then also echoing Member Wen and Member Thomas and the entire team. So, Mr. Burrell, thank you. So, as Dr. De Leon has stated, you came into a situation that at one point was a crisis, right? And something that not every district faces, and at this magnitude. But we rallied, right? And as Member Jones had mentioned, you had helped put together a plan. And it looks like you've been working the plan, and we heard proof positive from Ms. Villa, who is not shy about sharing her opinions and either her approval or disapproval, and so the fact that she actually feels that you've really been making a positive contribution in the classroom, again, that's really very welcome, and again, thank you for that, and thank you for coordinating the team here and making that happen.
I was going to say, and I'll look forward, since I live closer down to where you work, maybe bump into you in downtown Cupertino at the Phil's Coffee or something.
Sounds good. All right. You just let me know, and I'll come over and I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Okay. And Ms. Fakar, welcome to the team. And again, I know that you came in at a time where there was a lot of work to do and you had to hit the ground running, and I think that's probably the understatement of the year. But
Sleep is in your view.
yes. But again, thank you for your willingness to dive in and and basically not give up, right? And I think that that's the key in anything, is we're always going to face obstacles, we're always going to face setbacks, but success is not giving up. And so thank you for that. And along the lines, last but not least, Dr. De Leon, who has been superwoman for many months, chief cook and bottle washer, and that's only a 100th of the roles that you were playing. Former interim CBO and a variety of other things. But thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for all of the expertise that you've brought. And then also thank you for your caring and your empathy, because I think it comes through, and I think that the community sees that, and I think that certainly we, the board, see that, and it's really welcome. And so, again, wanted to thank you for that. And then I also wanted to thank my fellow board members again for all the hard work. We've had a really hard year this year, a lot of things going on, but I think that we've rallied and gotten a lot of things done. And as Member Wen said, we may not always agree on everything, but that's democracy, right? And I think that we need to respect each other's differences and allow room for them. So, and I look forward to working with my fellow board members, and I will certainly need your help and hope that you can brush me up and polish me up a little bit. So, and then finally, well, sorry, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but also thank you to the administrators, Dr. Bernard and Mr. Irby for their work, and congratulations to the new principal. And then also thank you to all of the teachers who have been working incredibly hard. And, and so we see you, the students, as Dr. De Leon had said, we see you, Schilling. We're working on things to help you. You're going to see more very shortly. So thank you. And then a little bit out of order, we did have an audit committee meeting yesterday, and so just yesterday, and we put I think we put a bow on the year, right? We did an overhaul of the audit charter earlier in the year. We went through a comprehensive process in evaluating and selecting a new auditor. That new auditor was present in the meeting last night, and we had I think we had a good handoff with Ms. Fakar, and I'm happy that both Member Wen and Member Jones are staying on the audit committee, and that also that Member Thomas will be joining. And I know that she was the author of some of the foundations of that charter, and so I know that she'll be bringing additional extra horsepower to that committee. So very excited about that. So, and then finally, yes, I know it's not the Academy Awards. I apologize. But finally, I would like to say Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad, Happy Diwali, and all of the holidays that are happening at this time. And I just want to say that we can appreciate everybody, right? And we shouldn't be afraid to appreciate everybody. So wishing everybody a happy holiday, and thank you very much, and looking forward to the new year. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. De Leon for parting superintendent comments.
President Hill, I'm not sure, were we supposed to vote on 13.3, resolution declaring surplus equipment?
Didn't we vote on that?
I don't think we did.
Okay. Yeah. I apologize. Okay.
I move that we approve 13.3 disposition of.
I thought we did. We'll do it again.
Surplus equipment.
I apologize, we did.
Okay, all right, excellent. But thank you for checking.
This will be This will be very quick because I know we're all itching to go home. Just echoing everybody else, I realized I wasn't able to say my thanks to Mr. Burrell. Thank you so much for everything you did. Really just coming in and then just leaving our district with having made such a positive change. I just want to thank you so much. And then also I wanted to say welcome to Ms. Bakar and Ms. Barros. Sorry, I'm really bad with names. I will get it right though. I know you guys came hitting the ground running, and really all your work does not go unnoticed. And really just everything you guys pour, and I understand like everybody here, like this job is not a high-paying job, and everything you guys do is for us, for like the next generation. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, just for being there and just doing what you guys do. and just always having that grit and that, and just that love for the students. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, student member.
Thank you.
Yay, yay. Okay,
Yeah.
Dr. DeLeon.
My final comments. You know what? I was remiss when I was thanking Mr. Burrell. I'm not sure how many of you know that he has been filling in as like assisting Miss Ditto as she returns. And he has been at BGP almost every day for several weeks now and has become a really beloved member of that staff. So we wanted to thank you for that, because that's a lot when you're been there, done that. It's a lot filling in as a principal and doing your job, and he's done everything swimmingly. So I wanted to add that before I forget. And I do want to thank also Member Lee. I didn't mention it earlier, but you are my absolute hero. I mean, seriously, because I wish I would have been that articulate and brilliant at your age. I mean, good grief, what the things you are going to do. Oh, the places you will go. It's going to be amazing to watch you. So anyway, in the spirit of the holidays and of peace, love, regeneration, I want to thank all of you for all of your support. Wish everyone, all of our board, all of our students, staff, our families, our wonderful community. We appreciate and love you and wish all of you a wonderful holiday season, and look forward to seeing all of you in the new year. Thank you.
Okay, so I really think that, you know, that we need to step this up a level, right? And so, so member Wen, should I ask for an extension to the board?
You have been long-winded, my friend. I think it's time.
Okay, so can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion to adjourn the meeting. Joy Lee.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and it could be. And student member, how do you vote?
Yay!
Okay, you're sending through the vote? There we go.
Six ayes.
Great. Okay, meeting is adjourned.